Hey, this is Yannis from Sonor Drums. We are here at the 2026 Europe Drum Show at the Sonor booth. And let me just take a few minutes and walk you around our booth. So right here in front we have our new Momentum drum series that we introduced at the UK Drum Show 2025. This kit in particular is a Momentum birch kit in the red pearl finish. And for the Europe Drum Show, we brought a Todd Zuckerman replica setup. So we are displaying the same setup that he used at the UK Drum Show last year. So 3 rack toms, 3 floor toms, a 20-inch bass drum that we converted into a gong drum, and of course a replica of his cymbal setup. On the other side of our booth, we are displaying an SQ2 kit. SQ2 is our, basically our custom shop where you can custom configure everything from the shell configuration, shell thickness, shell material, lacquering and everything. And in this particular kit, we are featuring a special blue to turquoise burst lacquering over Scandinavian birch veneer. And on the inside of the shells, you can see a ebony white stripe semi-gloss veneer. What's also interesting about this SQ2 is that we played a little bit with the shell thicknesses. So on the rack toms, we are featuring 12-ply heavy shells. On the floor toms, we are featuring 9-ply thin shells to allow them to resonate a little bit more. And on the bass drum, we are using a heavy shell as well to get a lot of punch. So right over here we are displaying a vintage series drum set in the vintage pearl finish, and right next to it a Momentum beach kit in satin pure white. And these kits both are in the same configuration because we wanted our visitors to be able to compare a modern beach sound of the Momentum series kit with the more vintage sound of the vintage series kit, because the Momentum Beach and the vintage series are actually featuring the same 9-ply 6mm shells. On Momentum we are just cutting them with 45-degree bearing edges, and on the vintage series with rounded bearing edges. And also of course the hardware is different between the two series. Yeah, well, right here you can see our snare drum alley basically. So we brought a lot of our high-end snare drum models. So we have the artist series snare drums. Every artist snare drum is very individual with a very individual configuration. Then we have the 2 Benny Grab signature models, the beach snare drum and the brass snare drum, both in 13 by 5 3/4. The Joost Nickel signature snare drum with an extra heavy beach shell, so that's a little bit thicker than our regular heavy shell, with the special silver stripe and piano black lacquering. Our 2 Phonic reissue drums that feature a replica of the original Phonic shells with genuine mahogany and rosewood veneers and slotted tension rods like we used to produce those drums in the 1980s. Then, for most people, the holy grail of snare drums, our Artist Series cast bronze snare drum. So this is a 3mm cast bronze shells with 2mm reinforcement rings. Right over here, the Artist Series Cottonwood snare drum that features a cottonwood veneer and a medium maple shell with die-cast tubes. That's sort of the bread and butter snare drum for a lot of people, because it has just a very universal sound. Right next to it, we can see the Artist Series Tineo snare drum which has a very special shell. So this drum is featuring a 28mm beechwood shell, which is actually very great if you tune your drum really, really high, because with that thick of a shell, it's almost impossible to choke this drum. The last two snare drums that we are displaying are the two Gavin Harrison Protean signature models. And these are kind of special because they feature hybrid edges and hybrid hoops. So we have an S hoop on top, triple flanged on the bottom, and a rounded bearing edge on top and a 45-degree bearing edge on the bottom, so that the drum itself, or the edge on the top, dampens the overtones a little bit, and the 45-degree bearing edge at the bottom allows for a lot of resonance and articulation. Those two snare drums you can also get in two different versions. So right here, the 14-inch model you can see in the premium version, and the premium version includes the hard case that you can see down there, and also two other snare wire models. So these also have brass and set of brass and bronze snares that come with it. The standard version is, of course, it's the same drum, but it just features the two Protean tuning keys that were also developed together with Gavin, and the 3 dampening rings. So we have a light, medium, and heavy dampening ring that's included with the drum, so that you can adjust the degree of dampening that you would like to have. Right over here we can see another 2 Momentum kits. So this is a Momentum Maple in California bowl with a 20-inch bass drum, 12-inch tom, and 14-inch floor tom. And right here you can see a Momentum Birch kit in GT Black in a bob configuration. So 18-inch bass drum, 12-inch tom, and 14-inch floor tom. And what's really interesting about the Momentum series is that we are offering all the finishes that I just showed you and all the shell materials that I talked about. We offer them in all finishes and all sizes, so that you can individually configure what shell material you would like to have. So you could choose beech, birch, or maple, and what finish you would like to have. So the red pearl that I showed you at the beginning, the satin pure white, the GT black, or the California burl. Of course, you can just choose a straight kit made out of one material, or you can mix and match how you would like to do. So thanks for taking the time to walk around our booth with me. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at info@sonor.com or visit our Sonor website. And if you are at the Euro Drum Show this year, just stop by our booth and please feel free to share our questions with us. Thanks.